Okay, good morning to all of you. Am I audible? Yeah. सेटिंग्स में जाके कुछ हो सकता है? नहीं नहीं, बट इतना भी वो नहीं है, आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. हाँ, लाइट्स. थोड़ी डार्कनेस हो जाएगी, देन इट इज क्लियर, इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. है ना? Okay, so what we have discussed in the last lecture? Okay, we have discussed about the protocols. Let me open the PPT. As we have a JEE exam in our institute, so the lab slots are converted into the lectures, right? So 11:10 to 12:10, my lecture is there. That means right now, and after means 12:10 to 1:10, Manali ma'am will take OOPJ. ठीक है? So I have already pasted the link in the WhatsApp group, right? Because lab में तो सिर्फ lab के बच्चे ही होते हैं. So I have already pasted in the WhatsApp group. So ask them to join fast. Okay. Have we started the SMTP protocol? सिंपल मेल ट्रांसफर प्रोटोकॉल स्टार्ट किया था, पूरा कंप्लीट किया था. ओके. हाँ. ओके ओके ओके. Okay, so we have already discussed about the SMTP protocol. So the first thing that we can say, SMTP protocol is used for which purpose? For mailing from one host to the another host, the SMTP protocol is used, right? We have also discussed one scenario, that is Alice and Bob, in which we have seen कि उसमें हमने देखा था that if Alice wants to send the message, then Alice first have to send the message to the user agent. Here the two entities will play a role. Yes, with the help of the protocol. हर एक जो होस्ट होता है उसका अपना एक यूजर एजेंट होता है. नहीं, पहले यूजर एजेंट को भेजना होता है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दी एलिस विल सेंड ड्राफ्ट मैसेज, टाइप द email address of the recipient, whatever the process that take place, that will be done at this side only, right? So first of all, user agent will receive the message which has been sent by the Alice. Alice will forward that message to the mail server. अभी जो SMTP जो work कर रहा है, that is working at the mail server, right? Now Alice will, we can say the mail server will put that mail of Alice in the mail queue, that is message queue. पहले वो message queue में रख देगा. Message queue में तब तक रहेगा जब तक the TCP connection is established between the one mail server to the another mail server, right? जब TCP connection जब तक ये दोनों के बीच में establish नहीं हो जाता, till that time the message will be there in the message queue. Now what happens in that case? As I said, let's say that if the Bob's mail server is down for some days or for few times, then what happens in that case? The TCP connection is not established, right?
Hello, bro.
Yes.
Hello, bro.
Yes,
Hello,
Prema.
bro.
Yes, you are audible.
Will you mind to teach us in English, madam?
Okay,
They
okay,
are
okay.
facing triple chest.
I just forgot. I'm extremely sorry for that. I'll continue with English only.
Okay, madam. Fine, madam.
Okay. So I think
Thank you, madam.
do it means is it required to repeat the whole SMTP protocol, Pema?
Yeah, madam. It will, madam. It has to, madam.
Okay, okay. I'm starting with the SMTP only, right?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. It's fine, madam.
Okay, okay. So SMTP, we can say it's a simple mail transfer protocol. I'm repeating this. So it's a simple mail transfer protocol. So in this case, there will be two entities that you have to remember while explaining the simple mail transfer protocol. First is the user agent, as you can see here, and the second one is the mail server. Here, this two entity will play an important role in the SMTS protocol, SMTP protocol, right? So here the example which is given in the reference book, the same example I have take, because it will be easy for you that after understanding this scenario you will read the reference book and you will have a clear scenario in your mind. So here there is a two user, we can say one is Alice and the another one is Bob, right? So here there are two user, Alice and Bob. Now let's say that if Alice wants to send a mail to the Bob, what the Alice will do? What is the basic thing that we require if we want to send a mail to any other person? Basic requirement is we should have a mail ID of the person, or we can say the recipients to whom we want to send the mail, right? So what the Alice will do? Alice will just write bob@gmail.com. That is the email address of the Bob, right? So here the Alice is writing the email address bob@gmail.com. Now after writing the email address, Alice will draft the mail. That means whatever the subject required, whatever the content required, that will be done by the Alice and transfer it to the user agent. Right now, every user have a user agent and the mail server at their end. Right, that is compulsory. That is, the two entities will already be there with each users who are transmitting the mail from one host to the another host. So Alice will first when Alice click on the send button, what the process done at the backend side, the mail will be transferred to the user agent. Now the user agent will identify that this mail belongs to which user or which host, right? Now here the user agent will transfer the mail to the mail server. Now, at the mail server, there will be an SMTP protocol, right? SMTP protocol will be running in the mail server of Alice. Now, the mail server will put the message or the mail in the message queue. Here, the message queue is there. If you can see here, then this is the message queue, right? So, message will be placed in a message queue, right? Now, the message will be placed in a message queue till that time the connection is established between this mail server and this mail server. Once the connection is established between the two mail server, that is one mail server of Alice and one mail server of Bob, till that the message, or we can say the mail, will be there in the message queue. Now, once the connection is established, the mail will be transferred from Alice mail server to the Bob's mail server, right? Now, let's say that if the Bob's mail server is down few for few days, right? Or we can say for some period. So what happens in that case? The TCP connection will not be established between the mail server of Alice and the Bob, right? So in that case, what the mail server will do, what the Alice mail server will do, Alice mail server will just retry every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes, the Alice mail server will send the request, TCP request, to the Bob's mail server, right? Now let's say that this will be continue for 2 days, 3 days, right? And then after, the mail will be discarded from the message queue. That means the mail server, whatever the message queue is there in the mail server, from that mail will be discarded, because the TCP connection is not established between the Alice mail server and the Bob's mail server. Now let's say that once the TCP connection is established between the mail server, then the mail will be transferred from Alice mail server to the Bob's mail server. Now Bob's mail server put that message in the message queue for some period, and then it will go to the user agent. Now what the user agent will do? User agent will not transfer or send that message to the Bob, right? Bob has to retrieve the message from the user agent, right? Whenever the Bob feels like that now I want to read the mail, at that time Bob will fetch or retrieve that mail from the user agent, right? So if you just see this scenario, then you can clearly observe that each entity are pushing the mail, or uh, uh, we can say that sending the mail from one entity to the another entity, right? So one thing it is clear that SMTP is a push protocol, right? If you just look at this diagram, then you can clearly analyze that here Alice is pushing the mail to the user agent is pushing the mail to the mail server, one mail server to the another mail server, the message is pushed again. After that, mail server to user agent at Bob's side, and here Bob is retrieving the message, that is pulling the message or the mail from the user agent. So at that time the SMTP protocol will not work, right? So one thing that we can say, SMTP is a push protocol, right? Let me just give this statement over here, otherwise you will forget. SMTP is a push protocol and HTTP is a pull protocol, right? So we have an idea that why SMTP is called as a push protocol and why HTTP is a pull protocol. Because in the HTTP protocol, the client is pulling the information from the server, right? There is one client and there is one server, right? So the client is pulling the information or pulling the data from the server. That's why HTTP is a pull protocol and SMTP is a push protocol. Now, in the exams, the question will be like, HTTP is a pull protocol, justify your answer. Or it may be SMTP is a push protocol, justify your answer. It can be asked in a 3 marks, right? So for that, you have to explain it with the example along with the diagram, right? Agar sirf if it is asked in the 3 marks, then you just need to justify. But if it is asked in the 6 marks, then you need to draw the diagram as well as you need to write the content and explain the whole example. For HTTP, it will be a 4 handshake, and for SMTP, this diagram will be there, right? Is it required to just modify this diagram? Okay, let me do it. Now let's say this is user agent. This is mail server of Alice. Again, this will be the mail server of Bob and user agent of Bob, right? Here Alice is there, so let me just take. So here, this is Alice and this is Bob, right? Let me give you the arrow. Now the diagram looks good, right? Than before. Okay, so you can see here, if it is asked that what is SMTP protocol, then you need to draw this diagram, right? As I have just this shapes on my tool, so I have used this shape, right? But as a Alice and a Bob is a user, so you can just draw like a user. Okay, so this is all about the SMTP protocol. Now, as I have said that in this case, if you are seeing this scenario, if you look at my cursor, then in this scenario, the SMTP protocol works, right? As let me just show you in the PPT. Yes, in this case, you can see Alice email senders and Bob's is the email receiver, right? So in the first two steps, you can see here SMTP protocol is there because till two steps, every entity is pushing the mail from one entity to the another entity. But if you look at the third, there is two protocol, that is POP3 and IMAP. Now, if I say about the POP3, then POP3 we can say it's a post office protocol, right? Let me just mention here POP3, it's a post office protocol. POP3 we can say version 3. POP3 is there, then post office protocol version 3. Now, what the POP3 will do? First thing that we can say that POP3 is using the TCP connection at the transport layer. POP3 using the persistent connection, right? Persistent connection is used by the POP3. Another thing that we can say that it works on port number 110, right? Till now we have discussed about many port numbers, but this you have to remember that which port number is used for which protocol, right? This is very important. So POP3 we can say it uses the port number 110. It uses the persistent connection. It uses the TCP connection at the transport layer, right? Second is the IMAP, which is we can say the advanced protocol of POP3, right? Whenever the message is fetched from the another host, then we can say at that time the POP3 and the IMAP protocol is used, right? So one thing we can say IMAP is Internet Message Access Protocol, right? Let me just write the full form. Internet Message Access Protocol, right? So in the IMAP protocol, we can say it's the advanced version of the POP3, right? It also uses the persistent connection, and there are some we can say the advanced features which is not there in the POP3, but now it is there in the IMAP. And one thing we can say that it works on port number 143, right? If I say about the POP3, then we can say it uses the port number 110, and for the IMAP, it's the port number 143, right? Now, just recall back how many protocols till now we have discussed in the application layer. First protocol is HTTP protocol, right? Have you remembered what is HTTP? Yes, online students may also answer. HTTP protocol works on which port number? HTTP. Yes, it works on port number 80. Then FTP. Yes, exactly. FTP works on port number 21. Then POP3 works on port number 110 and IMAP works on port number 143. Right? So these are certain things that you have to remember. Right? While explaining this port protocol, you need to say that this protocol works on which port number. Right? This is the important thing. If you want to note it down on your book, you can. So this is all about, we can say, about the POP3 and IMAP and SMTP, right? So is it clear to all of you?
Yes.
International students? Pema?
Yes, clear, madam. Yes, clear, ma'am.
Mohammad
Yes, clear,
Yasin?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Walt?
Madam, would you mind to share your screen once, madam? Let me take a screenshot, ma'am.
Okay. Bhavdeep, Aditya, Smriti? Is it clear to all? Bharti? Okay, so now I'm moving ahead. Now the another protocol of the application layer is DNS. What is
Madam,
DNS? Yes, Pema?
ma'am. Would you mind to share your screen once, madam? I want to take a screenshot, madam.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you, madam. Finished, ma'am.
It's visible?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Okay, you can move on, ma'am, now. It's
Okay.
done, ma'am.
Now, the next topic is DNS. So first of all, let me know what do you understand by DNS?
Provides the domain name to the IP address of website.
Okay.
One word. User means Google.com. So one word IP address.
Okay, very good. Okay, DNS का full form, DNS stands for domain name server, domain name system, right? You can call by any name. So DNS, first of all, we can say domain name server or a domain name system. Now, the first thing that we can say about the DNS, we have one practical of DNS in our lab list, right? In our practical list, there is one practical of DNS. Right? So after understanding this practical, in the next week, we will perform the practical of DNS, that how it will work. Right? So DNS first statement, if somebody asks what is DNS? So first statement, DNS stands for domain name system or domain name server. Second thing we can say, the main purpose of DNS, of using the DNS, is converting the domain name into an IP address. Right? The first statement that we can give about the DNS. So let me just explain with the general example. Let's say that if I'm coming with my friend, right, and if I want to introduce her, so what I'll do, that my name is this and my friend name is Kavita, Savita, whatever, right? So it will be very easy to remember the mnemonics. But let's say that if we are remembering the numbers, then it will be very difficult. Right? Now let's say that if there is a system, if there is no names and if there are only numbers, right? So it is very difficult to remember the numbers, right? Let's say that my name is 456 and my friend is 32541. So how awkward it is, right? So there are many, we can say there are many people around us. We cannot remember with their numbers, right? So it's very easy for us, for a human, we can say it's very easy to remember the names than the numbers. Now let's say, but the computer will only understand the numbers, right? Now if I am saying that, madam, you are saying that computer can only understand the numbers. So whenever we are typing in the browser that www.facebook.com, So how it will be there, how the request will be reached at the server, because computer is not understanding the language which human is understanding, right? So we are just typing www.facebook.com. So how computer is understanding that, right? Yes, at that time the DNS is introduced, right? DNS तभी introduce हुआ था when the user is writing the URL www.facebook.com. At that time the DNS is introduced, and the purpose of using the DNS is converting the domain name into an IP address. Second thing, we can say that DNS works as a phone directory, right? When the user is typing the name, it will just convert it into the numbers. Same as in our phone directory, we are typing the name of somebody. When we just find that name, click on that, we'll get the number, right? So we can say DNS works as a phone directory in the network. This is the second point that we can say. DNS works as an phone directory in the network. Now, as I've said that the purpose of using the DNS is to convert the domain name into the IP address. Now, you don't know the concept of IP address, right? We will study the IP address in detail in the chapter number 4, that is the network layer, right? But for understanding this basic topic, I need to give you a brief introduction about the IP address. So IP address is nothing but we can say it's a 4-byte address. As you can see on the screen, that is, it is written over there that 192.168.32.01, right? Now this is the IP address and this is the 4-byte address. Now this, you can see, this is the first byte, this is the first byte, this is the second byte, third byte, and 4 byte. Now 1 byte is equals to how many bits? Yes, online students, 1 byte is equals to how many bits?
8.
8 bits, right? So here, if I say this is 1 byte, so it consists of 8 bits. This is second byte, which consists of 8 bits. This is third byte, which consists of 8 bits. And this is the fourth byte, which consists of 8 bits. Now, all these numbers which is given here, it is in the decimal form, right? These all numbers are in the decimal form, but the computer can only understand the binary, right? So what will be the actual IP address for the PC? So as you can see here, these are the binary numbers, right? Now we have just seen this decimal numbers in our PC, right? But there will be a programming of converting the decimal number into the binary, right? This is not the exact binary number. This is just the example I have taken for the binary number, right? This is not just exactly the decimal of this binary, right? Yeah, whatever the decimal number which is given here, this is not exact the binary number of that. I have just taken the example to explain, right? So there will be one another program to convert this decimal numbers into the binary numbers, right? So this may look like this way, right? As you can see here, this is the 8-bit 010111010, second 8-bit, third 8-bit, and fourth 8-bit, right? Because it mainly consists of 4 bytes. So every byte consists of, we can say, 8 bits, right? So the actual IP address will look like this way in the system, right? कुछ ऐसा दिखता होगा क्योंकि PC सिर्फ binary ही समझता है. So we can say there is one program which is running to convert this decimal IP address into the binary IP addresses, right? Now generally we can say IP addresses consist of 5 classes, A, B, C, D, E. Right? Now all these 5 classes we can say used for the different purpose, and the IP address are ranges from 0 to 120 255. IP address are ranging from 0 to 255. If you might have observed, we have already done the practical, right, in Cisco packet tracer. So when you just write the IP address, we know how to write the IP address, right? We are just selecting the PC, we are clicking on the PC, then we can see many tabs: CLI, physical, desktop. We go to the desktop, right? In that we go to the IP configuration, and in the IP configuration we are giving the IP addresses, right? So whenever we are giving the IP address, we click on the tab, the subnet mask is automatically calculated. If you might have observed, right? आपने देखा है, सिस्को में प्रैक्टिकल किया है, हाँ, तो आईपी एड्रेस दिया है किसी पीसी का कि नहीं दिया है, हाँ, तो आपने ऑब्जर्व किया होगा कि सबनेट मास्क जनरली 255.255.255 होते हैं, हाँ, तो वी कैन से सबनेट मास्क कैसे कैलकुलेट किया जाता है कि जो मैक्सिमम वैल्यूज होती है, जो रेंज की, जो क्लास की, उस हिसाब से सबनेट मास्क कैलकुलेट होता है, राइट? सो आईपी एड्रेस की रेंज जो 5 क्लासेस है वो कहां से कहां तक होगी? वी कैन से दैट विल बी रेंजिंग फ्रॉम 0 to 255, right? 0 to 255 will be there. This is the range of the IP address, right? Now if you just look at this, then one thing that we can see about the DNS, domain name server, that it has mainly 4 types of the DNS servers. Mainly 4 types are there. First is, we can say, DNS resolver. Second one, we can say it's a top level domain name server, sorry, root DNS. Third is top level domain, and the fourth is authoritative domain name server, right? Now these are the 4 types of the DNS servers through which the user query will be fired from their source point to the destination point, right? So from this types of the DNS, will also understood that how this DNS works, right? Now let's just go through with one example for your better understanding. Now let's say that if I am writing, if I want to go for a Facebook, right? So what I will type, right? एक example से जाते हैं ताकि आपको पता चले, right? Now let's say this is one PC here. This is my PC. If you look at my cursor, you can see here this is my PC, and I am writing that www.facebook.com. Now how this query will be fired? मैंने अपने ब्राउजर में लिखा, I have written in my browser www.facebook.com. Now this query will be sent to the DNS resolver. Now what the DNS resolver do? DNS resolver have some hierarchy of the DNS servers. So if you look at this, the DNS server has mainly this 3 hierarchies: root DNS, top level DNS, and authoritative DNS. Now let's say that DNS resolver के पास query आ गई. DNS resolver have the query, whatever the client has typed on their browser, that is www.facebook.com. Now if you look at the second step, that query will be directly fired to the root DNS. Now what is root DNS here is, as you all know, that there are some website which ends with certain extension, right? Now let's say .com, .in, .gov, right? .org, right? .edu, हाँ, तो वो पीछे से क्यों देख रहा है? Because it is root DNS. It will just start from the root, right? So that easily identified, क्योंकि .com है, so .com वाली बहुत सारी websites होंगी. There will be a lot of websites which ends with .com. There will be a lots of websites that ends with .gov, .org, .net, .edu, right? So there will be many websites. So what root DNS will do? Root DNS will scan the domain name from right to left, right? What root DNS will do? Root DNS will scan this URL from right to left. तो पहले वो क्या करेगा? It will just fetch all the domain name which ends with .com and give it to the DNS resolver, right? If you look at the third step, then root DNS will give all the domain name that ends with .com, right? So you can see here in the third step, I have already written all domain that ends with .com, because there will be many domain at the root DNS. .com, .org, .net, .gov, .edu, etc. Right? Now, DNS resolver have the answers from the root DNS. Now, root DNS, DNS resolver will perform the fourth step. Right? Now, if you look at the fourth step, it will send that query to the TLD. TLD से वो query fire करेगा. Now, what is the use of having the TLD, top level domain? Top level domain क्या करता है? It will give the IP address, we can say the address of authoritative DNS, authoritative domain name server. Now, if I say about the authoritative DNS server, तो वो क्या करता है? We can say that whenever we are hosting the website, we have to purchase the domain, if you might have heard, right? So at that time, whenever we are purchasing the domain, there are registry which are saving, or we can say storing our domain along with the authoritative DNS, because there are many authoritative DNS which gives an authority to use the domain, right? So along with that, along with the domain name, whatever the domain name we are purchasing, along with that, the authoritative DNS server will be saved along with our domain name which we have purchased, right? So here the top level domain will identify that whatever the addresses which have been sent by the root DNS belongs to this authoritative domain name server, because there will be many authoritative domain name servers, right? So here top level domain क्या करता है कि जो भी IP address है, जो भी domain name है, whatever the domain name that user has provided to the TLD, TLD will identify that this domain name belongs to this authoritative DNS. Right? Now here there will be a reply from the top level domain, that is using the step number 5, and it shows that address of authoritative DNS. If you look at the step number 5, I have already written there, add address of authoritative DNS, right? So this is the step number 5. Now DNS resolver have the address of the authoritative DNS, right? Now the user, the DNS resolver have the particular address from where they can get the IP address of the specific domain name. Now the query will be fired to the authoritative DNS, and the authoritative DNS will give the exact IP address of www.facebook.com, right, with the help of step number 7. Right? Now, as and when it receives the IP address from the authoritative DNS, the query will be go to the DNS resolver. DNS resolver will send that query to our OS. I mean, whatever the PC that we are using, it will first go to the OS. OS will send that query to the browser, right? And browser will send that query to whatever the consent server is, that is the Facebook server, and the Facebook server will respond back to the user. So there are many steps. We are just typing any website name and we are just getting the result, right? But backend, these are the process that take place.
But can we say that DNS resolver is a kind of a manager?
Yes, we can say like that, right? That manages all the hierarchy which are there. नहीं पुश नहीं पुल भी हो रहा है, रिस्पॉन्स भी तो मिल रहा है, और उसको रिस्पॉन्स भी तो चाहिए, सिर्फ पुश ही तो नहीं करना है, रिस्पॉन्ड भी तो चाहिए, राइट? So we can say this is all about the DNS. As you can see here, there are mainly 8 steps when the domain name is converted into the IP address. It includes the 8 steps, right? It goes to all the hierarchy of the DNS. So starting with the root DNS, top level domain, authoritative DNS, it will go through all these steps and then it will reach at the browser send the response to the consent server, which is looking which is we can say requested by the client, and this will be the last and the final step. So is it clear to all of you? Right? Now the DNS will be asked obviously in the 6 marks. Right? ये जो question है which is very 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 important and it will be asked in 6 marks. You have to draw the diagram, you have to explain the hierarchy along with one example. So is it clear now? Yes, Mohammad Yasin, Tushar, Bhavdeep. You people are not acknowledging me today. Nidhi. This is very, very, very important topic, DNS. Okay, so it's time for attendance. Okay, TP1 students, 1,
Present, ma'am.
2,
Present, ma'am.
3, 4,
Yes, ma'am.
5,
Yes, ma'am.
6,
Present.
7, 8, 9, 10,
Present.
12,
Present.
13, 15,
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, 8
yes,
present. Maniyar.
17,
Present, ma'am.
18, 19,
Present, ma'am.
20, 21,
Present, ma'am.
22,
Present, ma'am.
23,
Present, ma'am.
24,
Present, ma'am.
25, just wait. Okay, so there is one announcement that for the CCNA course, you have to complete it before 15th March, right? All the 11 chapters, I think in the module 1, there is an 11 chapters, right? Chapter 1 to chapter 11, right? As and when you complete all the chapter quiz, there will be a final exam, right? And the final exam must be completed, will give you one date. In that specific date, you have to complete the final exam, right? And that exam or any chapter exam will not be reactivated. Just keep this thing clear in your mind that the exams will not be reactivated, right? Whatever the circumstances will be there at your end, you have to complete it at any cost. So keep this thing clear in your mind. Okay, 21 was there. Okay, 23, 24, 24, 25, 26, 27, and for getting the Cisco certificate, your score must be at least 75%. If it is less than 75%, your certificate will not be generated. 27, 28,
Present, ma'am.
29,
Present, ma'am.
31,
Yes,
32,
ma'am.
33,
बतावानो क्या रे?
Present, ma'am.
34, 35,
Present.
36,
Present, ma'am.
37, 38, 39,
Yes, ma'am.
40, 145, sorry, 45, 46, 47,
Present, ma'am.
48, 49, 50, 51,
51
52,
present.
53,
Present, ma'am.
54, 55, 56,
Yes, ma'am.
57,
Present, ma'am.
58,
Present, ma'am.
59, 60,
Yes, ma'am.
61,
Yes, ma'am.
62, 63, 64,
Present, madam. 64.
65, 66,
67 present, ma'am.
68,
59. Present, ma'am. 59.
71,
Yes, ma'am. 71.
73,
Yes, ma'am.
Mom, 59.
D to D1.
Ma'am, AI 27.
Yes, ma'am.
Just write in the chat box those who have missed their attendance. 1, D to D1.
Mom, 59.
How many attempts
Ma'am,
allowed in
69
the
is
quiz?
present. He's writing on the chat box.
69 I have already marked as present. I think there will be only one attempt, Aditya, in the quiz. 1, D to D1. 2,
Present, ma'am.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Present, ma'am.
5 is there, okay. Okay.
Madam.
Big data 1,
Present, ma'am.
2,
Yes, ma'am.
3,
Yes,
4,
ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
5,
Present, ma'am.
7, 8, 9,
Ma'am.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Well present, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
excuse me, ma'am. I have a query regarding the syllabus, ma'am.